Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with an on-the-fly review for you. And today, or this morning, I'll rush this out real quick, gotta get to work. I'm talking about The Irishman, which was released exclusively to Netflix in the US and theatrically in Canada to very dismal box office. This is the supposed true story of Frank Sheeran, who is a man shortly before his death in 2003 claimed to be the man who killed Jimmy Hoffa and Crazy Joe Gallo. Now, considering how every single person he talked about and anyone who could have possibly collaborated his story was long fucking dead at this time, I don't believe a word this fucking guy said, personally. So, the film's directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Bobby Cannavale, Harvey Keitel, Anna Paquin, Jesse Plemons. And that's the story of it. Frank Sheeran, he's a World War II veteran, then he's a trucker, and then he joins the Teamsters and the mob. And eventually, it tells, he gets really close and personal with, best dear friends with Jimmy Hoffa, before he's the guy that basically lures Hoffa away and kills him. What happened to Jimmy Hoffa? Everybody knows what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. Nobody ever found the son of a bitch. Look, man, I've already seen Jack Nicholson tell this fucking story. You know what I mean? I love Martin Scorsese, but I kind of felt like I've seen this story already. And already from the perspective of the real subject matter. Now, I just kind of, it has its moments. It has some coolness to it, but it's ultimately just Scorsese doing a self-parody. Almost. It felt like an Adam McKay gangster movie. Pacino's great in it. Pacino is amazing in the role. A lot of energy, just a firecracker. It was great to see him in this. Joe Pesci hasn't worked in over 20 fucking years. He was great in this, and unlike you've ever seen him before. De Niro was awful, and De Niro's one of my all-time favorite actors. But they needed a young man. Ryan Gosling, or ideally Leonardo DiCaprio. This would have been the perfect part for DiCaprio. It's crazy. So Scorsese actually has a role that's right for the guy. He doesn't cast him. What the fuck? But there's anytime, they got the de-aging on his face and something with his physique, but anytime he has to fucking walk or kick a guy or move swiftly, it's quickly revealed this man's in his late 70s. It was not a good effect. And on top of that, there was the blue eyes, which was just all kinds of distracting. And then there's his character isn't the least bit likable, sympathetic, or interesting. He is just a fucking moose. You just point and shoot. He's a human fucking pistol. This there's nothing to him whatsoever. Not one compelling aspect to this character. And we spend 3.5 hours with this motherfucker in virtually every scene. And he is, I think, in every scene. If he's not, talking to somebody, he's standing in the background listening to people talk. And the running time is insufferable, man. It's just, come on, this didn't need to be this fucking long. It's just ridiculous. I understand towards the end of the film, everybody's dead, he's been out of prison, he's forgotten. There's just, and the film's artistically and poetically trying to show you the, I guess just the bewilderment or the misery of being old and alone and shit like this. I understand what Scorsese's trying to show here. It's kind of a great scene. But this scene's over 3 hours into the movie, and we literally have to just watch De Niro count his fucking pills for 2 minutes straight. This film needed restraint. This film needed fresh perspective. I hate to say that because I'm nowhere near an ageist. Fucking John Huston was great making fucking masterpieces like Prince's Honor damn near up to his dying day. And fucking Clint Eastwood, he's gonna die during a take. I'm telling you, they're gonna be like, hey, that's a great take. Why didn't Clint say cut? Because he passed away. I'm gonna give it 4 stars because 3.5. I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars because it's just okay. It's just all right. And with the long, long running time, it's kind of rough. I didn't get to it in one sitting. I watched a little bit before work yesterday, a little bit of it after work yesterday, a little bit after dinner, right before I went to bed last night, and the rest of it early this morning while I was walking my dog, watching the end of the film on my fucking phone. I don't have time to watch a 4 hour fucking movie. uh, but I mean, it was well made. It looked good. The sound, however, was terrible to me. From the dialogue to the actual sound effects to the choices and songs they're using, it just sounded like I was hearing just a whole all these Scorsese films jumbled together. Um, so yeah, it's a meh, and the biggest disappointment about this whole situation has got to be Netflix themselves. They spent $140 million on this fucking movie with no intention of ever releasing it in the theaters. They had no faith in this movie. This film is just solely for them to play their break into the Oscars kind of game, which I did a whole video about. I think it's absurd. The Oscars should be the Oscars, Grammys should be this new hot. It's a changing entertainment. It's a changing field. I mean, what's next? Video games are going to be able to campaign for fucking Academy Awards. Uh, this is a TV movie, people. This is a TV film. This did not play commercially in any theater in the U.S. It should not qualify for an Academy Award. I don't care how many fucking nominations it gets. I don't like this. I just don't like this Cowtown. I'm going off on that rant again. Anyhow, yeah, I gotta get going. I gotta get to work. Hope y'all like this video. What do you think of The Irishman? Do you think I'm being too harsh on it, or do you think I'm being too easy on it? Either way, I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.